Nitesh Tiwari and Ashwini Tiwari have actually brought out those highs and lows in such a beautiful way. The way they've threaded the story.
Two young boys coming up who conquered the world together and had everything going for us. I mean, there were bound to be challenges, and that exists even today in every walk of life.
I respect this young man because not only is he like a younger brother, but we have won Wimbledon together and we have become number one in the world.
Leander says, I think, my backhand, his forehand, I mean, we complemented each other really well on the court, and that was one of the reasons we were such a great team.
That even when I came out of a hospital in 2003 to be ready for Athens, the energy of the fans got me there. The love that Mahesh and myself have received in India and around the world. I had a dream as a 14-year-old when I first saw Mahesh in Sri Lanka. There was just something there in his eyes that showed me friendship.
Mahesh, Bhupathi and Leander Paes, a huge honor to have you guys on Bollywood Hungama with us.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
All right, and I must tell you that so I've played tennis since my childhood. It's been a huge passion for me, and we followed Indian tennis from the days when Ramesh Krishnan and Vijay Amritraj were there. We've seen Ramesh Krishnan going to quarterfinals at Wimbledon, and that was a huge high. And we've seen Anand Amritraj and Vijay Amritraj sweating it out for India in Chennai profusely and getting those wins for us. And then when you guys happened, when you guys came together, and the sort of high that you guys achieved for India, it was something which seemed like unimaginable, because for anyone who has followed Indian tennis, it seemed like something which was totally dreamlike. What did it mean for you guys to just win those Grand Slams? It seemed like a dream for too many Indians who loved Indian tennis.
Yours.
And that's how we communicate. Well, I had a dream as a 14-year-old when I first saw Mahesh in Sri Lanka. There was just something there in his eyes that showed me friendship. There was something there in his backhand that showed me he had one of the best backhands in the world. But when we first met, my dream was that we would win Wimbledon. My dream was that two Indian boys could be number one in the world. And I checked myself because I was young, I was 14, and to have such dreams is unheard of. To have such thoughts is unheard of. So I checked myself and I stood there watching him play for about 15 minutes and just watching what he was doing, feeling what I was feeling. And then when we finally spoke about it, I said to him, do you want to win Wimbledon? And what was your response?
No.
I said, do you want to be number one in the world? And he started laughing. He said, you're crazy. You're mad. And I said, you give me 10 years of hard work, which he did. We will win Wimbledon and we will be number one in the world. And that's what I take away from a lot of this, sitting here 20 something years later. I respect this young man because not only is he like a younger brother, but we have won Wimbledon together and we have become number one in the world together. And we proved that Indians can be number one in the world in anything. Until we did it, no one else had done it. So that's what I respect about what we share.
Right. So Mahesh, I interviewed Lara yesterday, and she said that you're getting these long answers from me, but you're getting one sentence answer from Mahesh.
Yeah.
You let your backhand do the talking, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's why Leander and me complemented each other perfectly, right? I mean, he is great at things that I'm not comfortable doing, and I'm great at things that he's not comfortable doing. And just not only giving interviews, just talking is not one of my strengths. And Leander is a master at it. So most of the time, I go yours.
So that's a great. So Roger Federer, apparently, I think he said that Mahesh Bhupathi has the best backhand in the world.
So obviously, backhand was one of my strengths, and I mean, it's given me a lot of happiness and success in my career. And yeah, I mean, like Leander says, I think my backhand, his forehand. I mean, we complemented each other really well on the court, and that was one of the reasons we were such a great team.
All right, so Leander, why is web series showcasing you guys called as Breakpoint. What's the idea behind it?
Well, apart from the tennis reference of Breakpoint, I feel like Mahesh and myself have been through a lot in our career. We've seen a lot of each other's lives. We've seen a lot of each other's highs and lows, both on the tennis court and off the tennis court. And in this docu-series, Nitesh Tiwari and Ashwini Tiwari have actually brought out those highs and lows in such a beautiful way. The way they've threaded the story, the way they've told the story from each of our individual perspectives. And without giving too much away, I feel like the realness of which they've told the story and the realness with which Mahesh and myself have told our story is what is the magic. And I feel like when you guys go out there and watch it, you will actually see we've been completely raw. We've been completely truthful with it. We've touched some issues that maybe Hesh and me have not touched in 20 years.
Right.
There are a couple of the points that we had not even spoken about, away from the cameras or in our own friendship. We didn't touch on a couple of those conversations that Ashwini and Nitesh brought up in their storyboarding, which also the journey of Breakpoint gave us a chance to rekindle even more of our friendship, to rekindle even more of our support for each other or our respect for each other. And that's what I take out of it.
Mahesh, when I was approached for this interview, my first sentiment was that it's so wonderful that these guys are coming together, because when you guys were having those differences, it was heartbreaking for anyone who has followed Indian tennis and who has really vicariously celebrated victory when you guys were winning those massive victories. So when you look back at the differences that you guys had, how do you look back at it? Are you guys now wiser now? Have you let bygones be bygones?
No, so honestly, there's never been any kind of real issues in the sense that there was bygones having to be bygones, right? I mean, of course, we're wiser. Basically, we're 20, 25 years older now, but as two young boys coming up who conquered the world together and had everything going for us, I mean, there were bound to be challenges, and that exists even today in every walk of life. And I think one thing that we took away after going through this entire process for the last 18 months is obviously we could have dealt with it a lot better. But, hindsight is 2020. And, people keep referring to, the disappointment and anger of our split, which, for me, and I'm sure I'm speaking for Leander too, is, we never paid any attention to it because, we always took what we did very positively. Till we came along, there were no Grand Slam champions out of India. We conquered a white man's sport. We became number one in the world. We won 3 Grand Slams together. We won Wimbledon. And I think the nature of the beast is if we won 3, people would have expected 5. If we ended up winning 6, people would have expected 10. People are just, they always want more, right? So, the fact that we've got that Davis Cup record of 24 consecutive wins. So our careers, would my friends and family have loved me a little more if I won 3 more Grand Slams? Probably not, right? So our careers, I think, speak for ourselves. I think what we did together is extremely special. And I honestly have only realized that for the first time in my life over the last 18 months. I never, paid heed to that because I was just a professional athlete going week to week playing tennis. But in the last 18 months, after speaking about it candidly to Nitesh sir and Ashwini and watching all that footage, honestly, of matches that we won, I'm like kind of, wow, I still can't believe people kind of come back to us and says we are disappointed. I mean, after what we were able to deliver, I think, I think we're just going to ride on that success till we got to, leave this planet.
No, I think the success ratio that you guys enjoyed was very, very high. I believe 300 plus wins and I think around 100 losses, which is the percentage is extremely high. Now, you said, Mahesh said that we conquered the white man's sport. I was watching one of your interviews of you guys together, and you said that you were disappointed in one of the matches with Boris Becker in Stuttgart when he literally sledged and you had him as a hero and you were disappointed. Do we see those elements in the documentary as well?
You get to see a lot of real life match footage. You actually get to see Olympics, you get to see Grand Slams, you get to see some Davis Cups, you get to see some serious real life footage. And in that, I can't tell you what an unbelievable job Ashwini and Nitesh have done. Yes, Mahesh and myself had to use our relationships and take advantage of the goodwill that we share to get those footages from Wimbledon. I know Mahesh worked very hard on that. From the Olympics, I worked hard on that. But in that, I think where the collaboration of Ashwini and Nitesh and also Z5 came in along with Mahesh and Leander is that we were able to get archival footage to actually tell the storyboard. Some of the moments that we had to talk about and watch the visual and then actually speak about brought back some amazing memories with this young man. I mean, I sit back here and look at it, and this last 18 months has been such a ride. It's been such an emotional ride to actually see his eyes when we won Wimbledon. He covered his head with his hands in disbelief, but to actually see his eyes when we won Wimbledon on the court just before we hugged was one emotion. But then what I missed when it was live, was when we sat on the bench. He put his head in his hands again, and he went to his own thoughts while I was looking at him. But then when I realized he was in his own thoughts, I looked back, and actually he turned to look at me. And to actually see that now, which I had missed live, our timing may have been out of sync at that moment, but we were in the right place at the right time, always for each other. I know that where my weaknesses were, Mahesh's strengths were. Where Mahesh's weaknesses were, my strengths were. And I wish sometimes we had taken the time to watch some of the footage live when we were doing it. I wish sometimes I had a chance to sit with Navroz Udwadia and talk to him about what Mahesh felt when he got the news that I had gone to the hospital. Maybe if we both had a little better timing, or maybe if we both took the time to speak to each other a little more one-on-one when it was happening, maybe we'd have a lot more episodes to actually cut. But the archival footage is phenomenal. It is really stunning.
All right, and Mahesh, do you feel that so what Leander is saying about the emotional element, and maybe if you guys could have maybe enjoyed those moments a bit more at that point of time, you're looking back now, and obviously there's a lot of nostalgia. Do you feel that one should also enjoy the moments that life presents us with? Is that one of the messages coming out from the documentary?
No, I wouldn't say we didn't enjoy those moments. Of course, we enjoyed those moments. I mean, we worked all our lives and, put in a lot of hours on the court and sweat and blood and to get to those championship matches. So winning those titles were super special to us, regardless of, the kind of drama we were dealing with. But yeah, I mean, I think, if we were to take away anything from it to the next generation of, the kids who will be successful. I mean, today, there's another 200 distractions available to anyone than there were to us when we were coming up. So yeah, I think, try and stay in the moment and try and kind of surround yourself, I guess, with the right people who will, always put you before anyone else.
Right. And so, Leander, you idolize, from what I understand, Jimmy Connors, and Mahesh really liked Stefan Berg and John McEnroe. Did you at any point of time look at them as, say, American? I think Stefan Edberg was from Sweden, from what I remember and understand. Did you look at them from the nationality perspective, or the fact that they're white, or the fact that you just adored them as players, as tennis players?
As a young Indian boy, to get to rub shoulders with the Stefan Edbergs and the Boris Beckers and the Bjorn Borgs and the John McEnroes of the world, or even to get to partner Martina Hingis, which is what both Mahesh and myself have done, and win Grand Slams with them, is actually a dream. I mean, absolutely. I grew up in Calcutta playing gully cricket and gully football barefoot. So even to go to Wimbledon, log puchte the ki aapka auqat kya hai? But then to grow up in a country that did not have infrastructure for tennis, did not have sponsorship for tennis, did not have any sort of guidelines on how to build a tennis champion. For us two young Indian boys to eventually get to play at Wimbledon, share a room when we were 15, 16 years old in 1990, build a friendship, share a food of tray, share one badge, then eventually to go and play at Wimbledon in 99 and to win a title there together. It's hard to put it into words, but the respect I have for what we have done and the respect I have for Mahesh for putting in those 10 hard years is tremendous. I think that to stand on a podium in the Royal Box at Wimbledon and have a trophy, which now sits in both our showcase, we did it for India. We did it for 1.3 plus billion Indians, who every one of their names are on those trophies. Because they were the ones that were the wind within our wings. They were the ones that helped us fly. So all the Grand Slams we've won, all the Davis Cups we've won, that world record of 24 undefeated Davis Cup matches together is for the Tiranga. So I hope that this docu-series that we've put out goes and inspires the next generation of Indians to tell their story 20 years from now. To inspire the next generation of Indians that they can be champions in any walk of life.
Absolutely.
Because if us two Brown Mondays can go out there and do it in a field that they had no infrastructure in the 80s and 90s when we were learning,
absolutely,
then Indians can be champions in any walk of life. It just takes hard work, belief in yourself, and a lot of courage to follow your dreams.
Absolutely. So, Mahesh, what does John McEnroe mean and Stefan Edberg mean to you now?
Growing up, I mean, these guys were idols, right? I mean, the two generations that I grew up watching tennis on a daily basis were McEnroe, Borg, and then Becker, Edberg. It was kind of surreal that these guys are your heroes, and then all of a sudden, not only do you get to play with them, you get to play against them, you get to interact with them. You know, once you start winning at a certain level, they come and say congratulations, or they come and start talking to you. So, I mean, they're still icons in our sport, but, it was very exciting to be able to, morph from hero to kind of colleague also.
Absolutely. And Leander, I believe there is also this segment where fans are asking you guys some questions, and I think that must have been a really good experience because you guys enjoy a huge fandom in India. So how was the experience of interacting with fans during this series?
I love my fans. I feel that every stadium that we have played in, the dhol has been there, the tiranga and the war paint on the faces have been there. The passion that Indian fans all around the world have come out to support us has been tremendous. I feel like I wouldn't be who I am without the adulation and the encouragement and the belief that even when I came out of a hospital in 2003 to be ready for Athens, the energy of the fans got me there. The love that Mahesh and myself have received in India and around the world has been incredible. And in turn, we've tried to give that love back too. Yes, we have mistakes. Yes, we are humans. Yes, we have flaws. We never said we don't have flaws. And you will see some of those flaws now. You will see some of the mistakes that Leander has made. Maybe I could have been better. You can see some of the mistakes that Mahesh has made. Maybe he could have been better. But that's life, right? But the way we've led it is to give our fans every happiness and joy, to be proud to be an Indian. And I think we did that.
Okay, and Mahesh, how crucial is the feedback from your fans?
I think fans, this from my perspective, we would, at least I would keep my head down and focus on what I did best. I think there was a lot of positive feedback. When we were winning, I mean, Indian fans were coming out of the woodwork. I mean, tournaments, like when we played in Stockholm, you'd find Indians there, and, the tournament director would come and said, we've never seen Indians in the crowd before. And now because you guys are playing here, we have such a big group of Indians coming and watching. So they were coming out of the woodwork literally in every city we played, which was, for us, it was amazing support and super exciting. Then it kind of got, like you said, once they start getting disappointed, I mean, Leander and me, kept breaking up and patching up, and it started getting a bit frustrating. So I was just, for me, I took the good with the bad, kept my head down and focused on playing tennis.
All right. So Leander and Mahesh, we have a special surprise for you. So we have a tennis player who's ranked number 6 in ITF plus 40. So you guys have also inspired a lot of people that there is no age for playing tennis. You can continue to play competitive tennis even when you're in your late 30s and still continue to win. So we have this guy. His name is Syed Babar Zaidi, and he's number 6 on ITF ranking in plus 40 age group. And he has a question for you. So Babar, can you please join us?
Yeah. Hi, Bhupathi. Hi, Leander.
How are you?
It's a pleasure
Excellent.
sitting with you guys. Thank you, Faridoon, for asking me to join you guys. And as a childhood, we used to inspire with these two guys. They are our heroes. Especially Leander, the way he dominates on the net, and Bhupathi's serving and backhand is amazing. And we learn a lot from these two guys. And they inspired us to play as a age of 35 plus or 40 plus, because they are doing well till now. So
Any
it's
question you
amazing.
have, Babar? Any question do you have for them?
There are so many questions, but you ask all of them. I think you are well prepared, and
Babar, I want to
you are also a tennis player, so you know what to ask.
Babar, I
Okay.
want to know whether your backhand is as good as Mahesh's.
No, I used to play single hand backhand, so it's not match with Mahesh. He's having very good
Take me out of
control
the
and
job.
very good service, but yeah,
Next, Mahesh will ask you to play with him. You are single hand
sure.
backhand, like me.
It's a dream come true for me.
How are your volleys?
Actually, I missed once I supposed to meet Mahesh in Dubai, and when I know that he was coming on a particular day, and the day before I left Dubai, and the same thing happens with Leander as well. I think in 2019 he came to Delhi, RK Stadium. I was there, and I think there is some miscommunication, and I don't know the exact time when he is coming. So I waited for him for 2 hours, and I left. And when I left, and the Aditya, he called me that he came. I said it's very difficult for me to come back. So now my dream come true, and I'm sitting with the two great players of India, and we learn a lot from you guys.
All right,
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Babar. Thank you very much. And thank you very much, Leander, and thank you very much, Mahesh. It's a huge
Thanks,
opportunity
Faridoon.
for us,
Yeah.
and
It's
looking
it's
forward to the series
it's
for sure.
a huge honor for
Take
me.
care.
All the best for your movie Breakpoint, and all the best in your careers as well.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Babar.
All right. Thank you, Babar. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you so much. Take care.